Welcome back to the channel, guys. In this video, we are going to be discussing about functions. Before moving ahead, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Right, so we are discussing about functions. Now, suppose you're writing a 500 line of code, right, to make an application. Okay, you all are great developers, right? Now, in that program, you may want to print a very long message. Okay, you have created a very long message. You want to print this whole message in the output again and again at different points in your program, right? Suppose in the beginning, I had to print that message, okay, in the beginning lines, then in the middle somewhere, and then again after 20 or 30 lines, then somewhere else, right? So in the middle of the program, you may have to use it somewhere, anywhere, anytime, okay? So what you will do, you will just copy those set of lines, right? And then keep on pasting it whenever you need it. That's the way, okay? You will copy those statements, those print statements, right? Those sophisticated print statements, I can say, because you have created a very long message, right? Of 10 to 20 lines for the user, and you want to print it at different points in your program. So you will just copy paste it wherever you require it, right? So what will happen? This 500 lines will turn into 1000 lines. If you keep on repeating those lines, right? You will copy them, again paste them, copy them, paste them, copy them, paste them, and it will make your program hectic. That is called dirty code. That is your code gets messed up, right? So many lines, those 10 to 20 print functions in the middle of the program, making it very lengthy and hard for you to debug the program, right? So basically what you're doing here, you are repeating yourself. Okay, I will say you are repeating yourself. Repeating. You're repeating those lines again and again and making your program lengthy, hard to debug, hard to find the errors, right? But in programming, we have a principle called RAI. Do not repeat yourself. Do not repeat yourself. Okay? I'm sorry for the handwriting. Do not repeat yourself. This is the RAI principle, and we need to follow it to make our code beautiful, to beautify the code and make it easy to debug, find the errors, right? So we use this RAI principle, and based on this RAI principle only, we had learned about for loops, about loops basically. There also we were repeating certain number of statements, okay? But at that time only we were repeating those statements, right? But here, in this case, what you're having, like somewhere after 10 lines, you use those print statements. Then again, after 50 lines of code, you're again using those print statements. But in loops, what we were doing, at that instant only, we were running that code 500 times or 50 times or 10 times. But here, we are repeating the code at different points in our program. That's it, right? So, how do we follow our RAI principle? Now, you may have guessed it. Of course, I will not use the term functions anywhere, please, though you know about it. So, these lines of code that I have to repeat, those all print functions, right? I will make this block of code, this is a block of code only. I will name this block of code. I will give it a name like message, MSG, message. Okay, I will name this block of code, these lines. Block of code means these lines of code, I will name them. Okay, I will bundle them and I will name that. This is message. Okay, and whenever I have to print this message, wherever in the program, I will just type MSG and these lines will be executed. That's the idea. You need not to write those 10 lines of print function again and again. You just write MSG and you get the output. You get the message. That's the idea, right? You want it somewhere after 10 lines, you just write MSG, that's done. Okay. Now suppose that block of code right, that you want to repeat, has got some operations fit into it. Like it is, suppose, calculating the area of a triangle. Okay. It is calculating the area of a triangle and it wants the required, like the area of a triangle is 1/2 BH, base into height, right? So it wants the base and the height of the triangle, right? So basically we are having this block of code which calculates the area of a triangle, but for every triangle there would be a different area, right? So we need to give values to this block of code. This putting or this giving, we say we are passing values. We are passing values to this block of code. Okay, I will use this term passing again and again. Passing means you're giving these values, the base and the height of the triangle, to calculate its area, right? There may be anything, any form of value you are giving, and maybe you're operating in that block of code, right? So you are passing that value to that block of code. Now, that block of code is called, what is it called? It's function. Okay, this block of code is called function. And we can pass values to this function to operate on. Okay, now let us add some more things to this example. Now, when this area is calculated, you may want to use that area of the triangle to calculate, to do some more operations on it. Right, you want to do some operations with that area and you want that area in your program, right? Suppose I am in the 500th line of code and here I called my function. Okay, I wrote the name of my function, that is area, right? So when I will write area, I will also give the breadth and the height. Okay, whatever the syntax be, name the syntax, breadth and height, and then it will calculate the area wherever that function has been defined. This is that function, suppose. So you pass the breadth and area and it calculates the area. Okay, so it has calculated the area. That's it. Its work was to calculate the area. But you want to do some operations with that area in this 500th line. How will you do that? For that, what we do is we will return that area from that function back to the program, back to the point where you wrote the name of that function, right? Like suppose you had written here, right? Suppose this was my area function. This is area. And here in the 500th line, you are writing area. Okay, sorry, capital A, area, and you're giving breadth and you're giving height equal to 2 equal to 8. Now, its work is to just calculate the area, guys. Right, that will be 8, only 8, right? Now, I want to add the area of my rectangle, to this area of the triangle. That is, I want to perform some operation with it. Right, so what I will do, I will return the value from that function back where I called that function. Right, called, that is, I wrote the name of the function. Where I wrote the name of the function, there it will return this value 8 and 8 will come up here. Try to understand this, guys. Right, literally that value 8 will come in place of that function where you wrote the name of that function. Right, suppose I'm writing here area, whatever the syntax be, like I wrote the name here, and now what will happen? It will pass these values to this function, then this function will return the value. Return means that value is gonna come up here. It will come up here and then it will add it to the area of the rectangle. Suppose it was 10 and then it will store it. Suppose you want to store it into a variable x. So x equal to 8 plus 10. That's how it works, right? So I used some terms. First I used pass, then I used return, and I also used call. These three terms are very important. Understand it like this. You're calling area. Hey area, please calculate my area of the triangle. And then it will return it to you. So see, how does the flow go? First you call the function. When you're calling the function, you're passing the values and then it will return the value. Where you have called the function. Here the value of the return will come up. Okay? Right? Please try to absorb this. Replay it, what I've told you. Right? This much you need to understand, guys. Okay? Just diving into creating functions and then into many more operations with functions, that is not going to do anything for you. Right? That coding part you'll be able to do. The thing is, you understand we have to use those functions. There is no point in learning how to create a function, how to do this, how to do that, if you don't know when to use. My key focus has been to make you understand every concept, the why of every concept. Right? I'm not just diving into how to create a function. No. I'm trying to explain you why. Why do we need this function? Why to create a function? Like in the future, you learn about classes, you learn methods, you will learn many more things. Okay. Then what happens? Now people don't learn about the why. Okay, they don't learn the why, and what happens? They will use functions, also classes, also methods, everything. Right? In a simple program only, because they don't know what to do. Then a problem statement will come and you'll be like, what to do? When to use if, when to use for, when to use while. Okay, if you're not familiar with for and while, click in the I button right now. Right? Okay. So I think this much is enough for this video. Right? Please try to absorb this, play this video twice. Try to understand this example and focus on these three terms: call, pass, return. Function is just a block of code which has been given a name so that it can be used again and again. Right? That's all for this video. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, like this video, share it with your friends, and comment down if it was helpful to you.